Hey everyone, and welcome to Canine Dog Talk. You know, when you love your dog like family, their health is, well, it's everything. Today we're diving into a really critical topic: kidney failure in dogs. Now, I know it's a serious subject, but understanding the absolute earliest signs can make all the difference in the world for your best friend. So let's get right into it. What if I told you your dog might be sending you subtle clues about their health right this very moment? We're talking about these quiet little messages that can show up months, sometimes even longer, before a serious problem really becomes obvious. In this explainer, we are going to decode those exact signs for you. Okay, so first, let's just wrap our heads around the challenge we're facing. There's a very, very good reason why kidney disease is often called a silent threat. And here's the tough part, the hard truth. By the time you see the really obvious, unmistakable symptoms of kidney failure, the disease is usually already pretty advanced. And since there's no known cure, that makes early detection our single most powerful tool. It's everything. So you might be thinking, if there's no cure, what's the point? Well, the goal is something called palliative care. And listen, this is not about giving up. It is the exact opposite. It's all about getting ahead of the disease, managing it, so your dog can keep living a long, comfortable, and really happy life. Honestly, a lot of the time, you wouldn't even know they have an illness. All right, it is time to put on your health detective hat. Let's uncover the 6 secret clues that your dog could be showing you right now. Okay, here they are. These are the 6 most common, really subtle changes that can pop up months before a vet might make a formal diagnosis. Let's break down exactly what you should be looking for in each one. First up, we have polydipsia. I know, it's a fancy word, but all it means is excessive thirst. And look, we're not talking about your dog chugging water after a long run on a hot day. That's normal. This is a noticeable, persistent change. You might suddenly realize, wow, I am filling up this water bowl way more than I used to, and there's no real reason for it. That's a flag. And, this one goes hand in hand with the first clue. It's called polyuria, and it just means your dog is urinating a lot more often. Maybe they're asking to go out constantly, or maybe a perfectly house-trained dog starts having accidents inside. The absolute key here is this. Please, don't just write it off as old age. A well-trained dog who suddenly can't hold it is trying to tell you something's wrong. Now, this next clue is tricky because it is so gradual. Your dog might be eating just fine, same amount of food as always, but you just slowly start to notice they're getting thinner. You can feel their ribs or their hips a little more easily when you pet them. It's such a subtle change, but one you really need to be watching for. Okay, has your dog who lives for food suddenly turned into a picky little food critic? This is a huge sign. A dog that used to inhale their dinner now just kind of sniffs it and walks away, or maybe only eats certain pieces. This shift in appetite, especially if you see it with some of the other clues, well, it's a really significant piece of the puzzle. And here's another one where it's so easy to say, oh, they're just getting older. But the kind of lethargy we're talking about with kidney issues is different. It's a deep, profound tiredness that just seems to last all day and all night. They're not just napping more. They seem sluggish, weak, and you might even notice them struggling to get up. This final clue is pretty unmistakable. When you're cuddling your dog, getting in close, you might notice a strange smell coming from their mouths. It's often described as kind of metallic or even like urine. This is a really strong sign that their kidneys are not filtering toxins out of the body the way they should be. So maybe you've spotted a few of these clues. You're thinking, that sounds familiar. What's your next move? Let's talk about the single most important, game-changing tool that you have at your disposal. This happens all the time. You know in your gut that something is off with your dog. You take them to the vet, they run the standard blood and urine tests, and then the vet calls and says everything looks totally normal. It's so confusing and honestly incredibly frustrating, but it does not have to be the end of the story. This right here, this is the game changer. You need to ask your vet specifically for the SDMA test. Here's why. Standard tests often don't show a problem until about 75% of kidney function is already gone. But the SDMA test, it can spot issues months, sometimes even years earlier. It's a massive difference. And this is the real power of the SDMA test. A positive result, even when every other test is normal and your dog seems fine, is a highly reliable predictor that kidney failure is on the horizon. This isn't a maybe, it's a clear warning. And that warning gives you the most valuable thing you could ever ask for: time. So what do you do with that time? What do you do with that amazing head start? Well, you create a proactive plan. This is where you shift from being a detective to being your dog's hero. Just remember, we're not looking for a cure here, we're looking for a head start. Knowing this early allows you and your vet to build a management plan. And a lot of times, it starts with simple changes to their diet that can dramatically, and I mean dramatically, change your dog's future for the better. So how dramatic are we talking? With early detection and a proactive plan, you can extend your dog's high-quality life by 5 to 6 years. Just let that sink in for a second. That's potentially 5 or 6 more years of walks, cuddles, and companionship with your best friend. This quote, right here, it says it all. The goal is to manage the disease so effectively that your dog lives a full, normal lifespan, and in the end, passes away from old age just like any other healthy dog would. It takes a scary diagnosis and turns it into a totally manageable condition. So, let's boil it all down. Here is your action plan in 3 simple steps. First, watch for those 6 subtle clues. Second, listen to your gut, to your intuition. You know your dog better than anyone on this planet. And third, ask your vet, specifically by name for the SDMA test. And at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Our vets are incredible partners, but you are with your dog every single day. You are their voice. You are their #1 advocate. And by being informed and proactive, you are, without a doubt, their hero. By staying observant and proactive, you have the power to give your dog the incredible gift of time. Thanks so much for watching. For more ways to be your dog's hero, make sure you subscribe to Canine Dog Talk. We'll see you next time.